Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
Right, have a listen to this. It's what Rufaro Chisango, a young black female student at Nottingham Trent University, training to be a youth worker, recorded from inside her university room. The abuse happened earlier this week as drunken students congregated outside her room. She complained to the university, but after no response, she then put her footage up on Twitter. And obviously, we've bleeped some of the language.
But we hate the black seafood in London.
Leave her alone! What was that, sorry? What was
Say who are the black seafood of blacks? Say who are black seafood of blacks?
Can we just stand there? A black woman.
We hate the blacks, 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 hate the blacks. We are the blacks, hate us.
Grace!
We hate blacks. We hate blacks. I said
We hate white people! White people are white people are white people are... I'm not taking it.
sorry the Brexit papers, sorry the Brexit
The
papers.
blacks and the whites all together! The blacks and the whites congregated! They're finding the king money! I have a dream! I have a dream!
What do you make? You're not going to run.
I had a dream!
Lauren, what do you make this white will never be together?
Mine is the king of a dream, and so do I, mate! And my dream!
Well, let's talk to Rufaro Chisango now, who posted that footage, and Mary Okpo, who's the Vice President of Nottingham Trent Afro-Caribbean Society. Rufaro, first of all, what was the impact of what you were hearing on you?
It was a big impact, like, obviously, because when it happened, I just got home, and so about 5-10 minutes later, I just heard shouting from like outside my door, and yeah, I was just shocked. Like, that was literally my initial shock. But I was just really shocked, and I felt really isolated and uncomfortable.
And without... Sorry to interrupt, Rufaro. Without naming any names, do you know the people who were shouting?
Yeah, I do know who they are.
Have you seen them since?
No, I haven't seen them since.
What did you do then? What complaint did you make to the university?
Well, after they left, I went to the reception and I complained that there was racial abuse outside my corridor. So they took a statement, they took out my details and stuff, and then they said that they'll get back to me by the morning, because that's when they would have spoken to them, because they all went out that night. But then they didn't contact me or anything.
So, since it happened, no one has got in touch with you from, in terms of university officials?
The university, after I put it on Twitter, that's when I got more contact from the university. And this morning, someone came from the university and had a chat with me, and I gave my statement down to them as well. I had emailed them as well beforehand, emailed them a statement.
And what have you asked them to do? What do you expect them to do?
I just want them to take more action on what's happening. I just want the appropriate action to be taken place. So obviously, it's racial abuse. It shouldn't be tolerated at all, and it shouldn't have such a long delay when I report something like this.
Has this happened to you before, Rufaro?
No, this hasn't happened to me before.
Have you considered contacting the police?
Yes, I have considered contacting the police, but I wanted to see what the uni would do first. Right.
OK. We are hoping to talk to the Vice President of Nottingham Trent Afro-Caribbean Society, but I think we've just lost the Skype line. In terms of your accommodation scenario, do you feel comfortable still residing in the room that you're in?
I feel okay now because more action has taken place.
Right.
Yeah.
OK. I'm going to bring in Mary Okpo, if I may, then, Rufaro. Mary, hello, can you hear me OK?
And good morning.
What would you expect the university to do?
Just anything that is adequate to...
What does that mean in practical terms?
Practically, I don't know, a suspension for the students, because this is unjustifiable, it's unacceptable. And obviously, as Rufaro is a member of our ICS committee and she's a member, we do have a level of responsibility to her to look after her well-being also. So that is why we are ultimately involved.
Right. So a suspension for the students involved if they are...
At the very least.
OK, so what at the very worst?
Expulsion.
Really?
It's unacceptable. There's no justification. Whether they were inebriated or not, there's nothing that can justify what they said. She clearly was in a state of distress. This could have affected her incredibly, but she is a strong girl, so she has come through this, obviously with our support, the support of her friends and her family. But this was a terrible, terrible incident.
How shocked are you by that kind of language in Britain in 2018? It's
something that I didn't think I would see. I've always kind of had an idea that racism was covert, but for it to be so overtly open in 2018, it's something that really, really shocked me to the highest.
And have you come across this kind of thing before at your university?
Not me personally, but I do know there have been other incidents at the university.
I mean, how rare are they? How common are they?
I wouldn't say they're common. It is very, very rare, but this is the second time that I do know it's happened within the past year. So I wouldn't say that it's common, but it's something that shouldn't happen at all in the first place.
Sure. OK. I have a statement from Nottingham Trent University. We're shocked and appalled to see the video of racist chanting. This kind of vile behaviour will not be tolerated at our university. Those suspected perpetrators have been suspended pending a full investigation. OK, so that's just in. We have contacted the student who made the complaint. We're providing support to her and others affected, and we'll be liaising with the police about this incident. So while an investigation is carried out, the suspects have been suspended. How do you respond to that?
Great, because no one should be able to get away with this kind of disrespect, this kind of racist behaviour in this society today. So okay. I'm happy.
Thank you very much for talking to us, Mary. Thank you. Mary Okpo, Vice President of Nottingham Trent Afro-Caribbean Society. And you heard first from Rufaro Chizango, who posted that footage on Twitter.
2 18-year-olds have been arrested after a video was posted on social media appearing to show a group of people chanting racist abuse outside the room of a black female student. It happened in an accommodation block at Nottingham Trent University earlier this week. From Nottingham, Elaine Dunkley reports.
Recorded on a mobile phone by student Rufaro Chizango. What appears to be racist chanting outside of her door in halls of residence at Nottingham Trent University.
I just heard shouting from outside my door, and I was just shocked. That was literally my initial shock. I was just really shocked and felt really isolated and uncomfortable.
The incident took place on Monday evening. Her friends say it has left her traumatised and tarnished their experience of university life.
I know of these things do happen, but to think that it was so close to home, so close, being in my university, yeah, I was appalled.
We know that more times some people might not like the way we are, might not like where we come from, our race, our religion, our creed, but it's something that we kind of just power through, just knowing that maybe they don't like us, but we'll do our best to just be ourselves.
Rufaro Chizango has now been offered new accommodation, and 2 18-year-old men have been arrested in connection with racially aggravated offences. The university says it accepts that it didn't act quickly enough.
There was a delay, a significant delay, and we acknowledge that. Oh, it's vile behaviour, it's absolutely abhorrent. We are really, really shocked. This is not the NTU positive culture for students and staff that we all recognise.
The footage was posted on Twitter and has gone viral. Nottingham Trent University says it has learned lessons from the incident, but this has prompted wider questions about how allegations of racism are dealt with on campuses across the UK. Nottingham Trent University is this evening reassuring students that this was an isolated incident. But the National Union of Students say when you look at the national picture, it was far from isolated. They say they receive phone calls every week from students who have been racially abused. They say this has gone on for decades and will only end when there is zero tolerance on university campuses.
Elaine Dunkley, thank you.
2 18-year-old young men have been arrested after a video of racist abuse being shouted at a black woman student was put on social media. Rufaro Chisango, who studies at Nottingham Trent University and who says she was the target of the tirade, recorded it on her phone whilst hiding behind the door of her room in her hall of residence. And a warning, there is racist and offensive language in this report from Jane Deeth.
Nottingham Trent has a diverse student population, yet at a British university in 2018, a black student is subjected to this. The shocked, frightened person on the receiving end was Rufaro Chisango. She tweeted the recording saying, "I'm fuming. Words cannot describe how sad this makes me feel." Mary Okpo is a friend.
She obviously didn't go and approach them because she felt scared. There was a group of people outside her door shouting these racial slurs. Everyone's in shock, especially the black community here. We are all upset. We are standing with Rufaro, speaking to members of the university, providing her with new accommodation as well. So they're doing the best that we can.
So she feels she needs to move accommodation?
I think so, and I think it's for the best as well, because obviously in that environment you don't know who's about. She was the only black girl on her floor as well, so that's another reason I feel like she felt a little bit isolated in that situation.
At 2 a.m. on Tuesday morning, Rufaro Chisango came down to reception here and told them what had happened to her. She was told someone from the accommodation company would get back to her. They didn't, and the first the university heard about the incident was yesterday.
This cannot happen, this sort of behaviour. I have spent time with her, talked through at length with her, and unreservedly apologised for a failure of the university system.
25%, a quarter of your students are from a black or minority ethnic community. They're not going to want to come here having seen this video.
I think that our good reputation goes before us, and this is one incident. We have 30,000 students here. I think in the last year we've had 3 incidents of anything remotely like this.
The accommodation provider UPP says it doesn't tolerate harassment of students, but admits there were delays dealing with this. The 2 male students are suspended and have been questioned by police.
Jane Deeth reporting.
I've been getting